Hi folks, we're back, cutting through the matrix, and I told you before that when the Royal Institute of International Affairs - Council on Foreign Relations started up, they took over really, or amalgamated with the previous groups, which were the Cecil Rhodes Foundation and the Lord Alfred Milner Foundation, that set up to take over the world's resources, but they're still doing it today. And they've never changed their agenda. Why should they change it when they can work intergenerationally? And they have their tenets set out for them, their plans set out for them. They hire, retire, and hire and retire till they get what they want done. And they also have a parallel government made up of ex-prime ministers and presidents. Here's one thing that happened in Canada last week. 20 former world leaders discuss looming water crisis. You see, they're going to privatize the whole world's water system. 20 former heads of state, including former U.S. President Bill Clinton, warned Tuesday of an impending water crisis and agreed to establish a panel that will tackle a worldwide leadership gap on the issue. Retired leaders, among them Mexican President Vicente Fox and former Japanese Prime Minister Yasuo Fukuda, said the panel would work to raise the issue's political prominence in order to avert looming problems with worldwide water supply. Then they go into what they're called Interaction Council, they call it, on water, etc. And it says they were attending this year's three-day annual meeting in Quebec City, and it also included former Mexican leader Ernesto Zedillo and Gro Brundtland of Norway. The group urged a new international water ethic that'll go along with your carbon taxes, and offered 21 recommendations for world water management. Privatization, of course. At the top of the list was placing water at the forefront of the global political agenda. That means institutionalizing through all your teaching until it's like carbon taxes, CO2. Other items included linking climate change research and water problems, creating a legal right to water, and raising the price of water to reflect this economic value. Guess where all that will go again? The United Nations, eh? Well, they'll split it with the private company that ends up owning the world's water supply. In areas where water is rationed, the priority should be for food crops and not biofuels, said the group, whose co-chairs were former Canadian Prime Minister Jean Chrétien and one-time Austrian Chancellor Franz Vranitzky. Although there is plentiful water supply in Quebec, it is an especially topical subject after Quebec-based tourist Guy Laliberté, and billionaire founder of Cirque du Soleil, dedicated his 2009 visit to the International Space Station to raising awareness of international water issues. You understand now we're global. We have to worry about every little place across the planet. You see, you have no nations anymore. That's the message. And you don't own anything anymore. That's also the message. You're interdependent. You must be right down to the individual, totally dependent on the one system. That's what it means. Totally dependent. One day, if you drink out a puddle after a rainfall, you're going to get fined. And I'd like to think this was a joke, but this will happen with these nutters that they employ from the universities to be greenies and so on. So we're really going through massive changes as they already own the food supply of the world. And I've talked to people who work in agribusiness and the mess that it's in now with government regulations. It puts all the small farmers under. Once they've gone, you've got nothing left but the big agribusiness corporations who can do as they please, believe you me, because I know people who visit them and go around their big plants and so on, where they have oil dripping into your food supply and stuff like that. They don't get bothered by the government because there's a big agenda at work and you're living through it. And you better get active. Very active, if you want to save anything at all, especially if you have children. And even if you don't have children, we shouldn't just end now. We're the end product of thousands and thousands of generations. And we have as much right to live on this planet as these gophers at the top that work for their master. From Hamish myself from Ontario, Canada, it's good night to me. Your God or your gods go with you.